Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I am good. I meant to look
Sounds
up
it.
what allergies. I know. Oh, that's okay. Before we got on earlier, before we started recording, I sneezed like 30 times. I look like I'm Hot Mess Express. That's what
Wow.
my shirt says. Anyway, I'm all good. It's not as bad as it was.
Yeah.
So, how are you?
Good. Good, good, good. Busy, 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 as per usual.
Yes.
You know,
Did you have a good
lots of.
Mother's Day?
I did.
Good.
Yeah, it was very, very nice. It's nice to have the kids around and you know what I mean?
I
The
do.
boys and watch their interactions. And even though we couldn't hear them, you know, I said to George, I said, yeah, we need to go get hearing tests done. We couldn't hear a word. At this restaurant that we were at, there was so much, I don't know about anybody else, but um I find I don't have a hard time hearing when it's like one-on-one and we're talking, but when there's background noise and then there's a table of us trying to carry on a conversation, I'm out.
Yeah.
I just could not hear a conversation to save my life. So and I looked at George in the restaurant and I said, "Can you hear anything?" And he said, "No." I said, "So we need to both go get our hearing checked just to make sure we're not in need of some sort of devices."
Hearing aids.
Right.
Ah, that's funny.
But
Uh, Rachel and I and the girls went and got pedicures on Mother's Day. And then we went
aw.
shopping and got because the girls didn't have any sandals. So they're like showing up in when tennis shoes and socks to get their
Oh,
pedicures. So then we went
yeah.
next door to Target and got them some sandals. So that was really nice. But I didn't even care because I know this week is going to be my mother's week.
Yeah.
All my babies are going to be here.
Yeah, I know. That's
So
so
over the moon.
exciting.
So much. I can't
I can
even tell
hardly wait to
you.
see all the pictures.
I just, oh, baby. I
I
don't know
know.
where he is, so I have to be quiet.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh, what did I just do?
I don't know, but we're still going.
Okay. Because do your thing have buttons to push?
No,
Okay. See,
mine
this
just
one,
has a, I
I,
just play with this.
okay, because I moved it and I pushed a button. I don't know what it was. Riveting podcast right here.
Yeah.
Well, it's fixing to get better because our topic is,
I fix it to get better.
oh, it's gonna get so
I'm
much
thinking to
better.
myself, why? What are we talking about?
This is all news to Lorie.
Yeah.
Useful and unuseful. Not useful. Is it unuseful? Anyway, things that we find very useful that we have purchased, and things that we have purchased that not so much.
Not so much.
Not so much.
Now, are we limiting? I forgot to ask you this question before we got into this topic. Is it only planner and crafting? Oh,
No,
it's anything.
anything.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna have to. Okay, yeah, I could think of a couple things.
Because stuff just started popping into my head. So I have a list.
Oh,
I
look at
have a
you.
list. I know. I had to show it because I'm so proud. I'm just so proud that I have a list. And I am gonna start
Yes, please
uh
do.
because I know I do, videos and I'm like, oh, this is so cool and blah 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 blah. And it was at the time. So I don't want anybody to think that I just do videos and I'm like, oh, this is so cool, and I don't think so. I think so in the moment, but then after using it more often, you're like,
Which happens. Yeah,
not so much.
yeah.
So my most useful, and this is not in any specific order, but these are kind of related. My tiny attacher by Tim Holtz. So this is the one that has a teeny little bitty staples. And it just so happens that I have something over here. So it has the teeny itty bitty
Oh, the
staples.
little. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
so it's called
Gotcha.
the tiny attacher. Love it. Now, along the same lines of something not so much as the stapleless stapler that I got.
Oh, yes.
So I got this to use with vellum. because everything that you attach vellum to, you can see it, whether it's glue or
Yes.
double-sided tape. So I got this. Now it works if it's vellum to vellum, but I've noticed that things that I attach vellum to like cardstock, it doesn't stay.
Oh, okay.
It kind of peels off or comes apart or whatever it does.
Yeah, I don't think it
So
has that attaching power to
no, it kind of
clip
just
it.
like squeezes it, but
Yeah,
not, it's not permanent. That is for sure and certain.
yeah,
So I'm gonna say that this was not as useful as I wanted it to be, which is very disappointing. But
yeah,
now I could see doing this for like party bags, stuff that don't need to stay closed forever. I could see this being useful.
yeah.
But not I wouldn't say for crafts. I would say no.
Now, see, that is one thing because you know how we're so in tune to watching others do hauls
Hmm.
and see, and when I seen you use that one or talk about that one, I think you talked about it in one of your videos. I
I did
can't
because I
remember.
used it.
Yeah. And I thought, oh, that'd be interesting. Maybe I should try that. And then afterwards, I thought to myself, you know what, Lorie, you don't even use a stapler enough times. Why are you going to go and get that? So
Yeah.
I always have to be the devil's advocate in my own brain.
Hmm.
Really, do you want to get that? And, talk myself right out of it.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say not as
No,
useful as I wanted it to be. I was super excited for the whole vellum aspect, but I've noticed that just it doesn't, it's just not as
yeah,
useful as
yeah.
it should be. So
Okay.
that's number one for me, or the first one on my list, not necessarily number one. You may keep going.
Yes, please.
Okay. So most useful hair straightener in my craft room has been a
That's
game
one thing I
changer.
want to try.
It
Yes.
has, I tell you, especially for lace and ribbon, because you just like whoop, and
Yeah.
it's an iron, but it gets both sides, so you don't have to do it as much. Now,
Now,
paper is okay, but you have to kind of go over and around if you
now
have to
let me
iron
ask
paper.
you, do you find that because it only goes so far that you don't really get in the center of your material?
No, because
No?
like I said, I'm mainly using it for ribbon and lace. Now, the only thing
Okay.
that I probably would say is like a big piece of fabric that you're not going to be able to reach the center,
Right, right,
doing
right.
it that
Yeah.
way. Unless you bunch it up, but then that's kind of defeats the purpose of ironing it if you're just going to wrinkle it back up again.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it does have its limitations, but I mean, mine's pretty long. So it really can do a good swipe across most anything that I've had so far.
Yeah.
So that has definitely been a yay.
Because one product that I was thinking of getting, and I haven't pulled the trigger on it yet, is the mini iron?
Yes.
Because, okay, and I'll show you why. Where is it? So I was thinking of making a small little junk journal, like almost like a cover, just a cover
Yeah.
out of this.
Oh, it's
But
so
you see,
pretty.
isn't it cute?
Yes.
But there's so many lines in it. And I just kind of put it off to the side because I'm not taking it downstairs to iron it with the big iron. So these are one of these deals where I think I'd like to get the mini that can just sit up. There you go. That's it. Thank you, Steph. I really think so. What is your product review on that?
Yes, it's absolutely yes, and it is good for like the fat quarters, the bigger fabric,
Yes.
because you're not
Okay.
going to be able to use the what is that called? The flat iron for your hair
Yeah.
on that. Because by the time you get to that part, you're going to have to bunch it up to get to the middle. It's
And that's
just
why
too
I asked
big.
you, because that's
Yes.
what I thought you were using it for. But yeah, no,
No,
that's what I'm
this is
thinking of.
for the bigger things.
Yeah.
But when I have a long, so on my ruffled lace, when I take the ruffle part off, so it's still kind of bunchy, right? Because
Yeah.
it's been sewn like that. So I just took that whole strip. It was like 3 yards. It was just long. And just with my I knew I should have got all this stuff down. Um, but with the flat iron, I was just able to take the strip of lace, put it in here, do that, and then just pull.
Oh, okay.
You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's just pulling. So it's just whatever fits here. Now I could, if it was a little bit wider, I could put it here. It won't bunch it up, see, because it has that little
Yeah.
space. But for bigger things like that, and even with my coffee dyed paper, sometimes I need to iron it flat because it gets like, it just dries funny. But
Yeah.
I'll use the little iron for that.
Cool. I
So
think I'm going to get that then.
yeah, I enjoy the little iron for
Okay.
those things. So yes.
Nice recommendation.
Hmm. Okay, this may be an unpopular opinion, but not so useful are trinket dishes. I have several trinket
What do
dishes.
you mean by that?
Um, like these little cute little dishes that you put little things in.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm talking
Okay.
about? Like that,
Yes.
that's one.
So I
Um,
got this at my
like
daughter-in-law's
this
craft sit.
one.
Yeah. I got this at my daughter-in-law's vintage market. And I thought
Yeah.
this is going to be great when I'm doing my dangles or
Okay, that's good.
eyelets or that kind of stuff to keep it so it's not rolling around on my
Hmm.
desk. So
But that
you're
has a
saying they're not
purpose.
good?
Um,
Okay.
it's good if you have like that is a great purpose for that. So you
Hmm.
have it for a purpose. I'm just talking in general because I have two on my craft desk and they
Yeah.
end up just having all the little things in it.
Right.
It ends up
Okay.
becoming a catch-all.
Right.
And so when I say they're not useful, it's because it becomes very unorganized.
Yeah.
So, and again, I have three of them right here. I have two on that desk, one on this desk. But I have to dig through. I don't know what's in them. It's all the little
Yeah.
things. It's little paper clips, little this, it's little that, and I forget about it. So then I
Okay.
either don't use it because I forget or I dig
So
through it.
this is one thing that I'm going to say is a yes in regards to trinkets or whatever. I got a whole bunch of these at the dollar store. So these are like, you know,
Yeah.
they go together. So that's what I use, and I have more up there. But I put little strands in there. I put trinkets in there that I little things that I may have pulled that thinking I'm going to put as a dangle or
Hmm.
something, and I didn't use it. So I'll put it back in here because I'm not going to find the tube or the tray or whatever that I had before. But I like these, so I don't know if anyone else is.
Okay, those
Yeah,
are really cool. I would like those are at
yeah.
the dollar
I
store.
I got them at the dollar store.
Oh, I'm gonna have to go check that out.
So yeah, I think they come in three. So I got
Okay.
like so yeah, you just they sit like they're
Yeah,
attachable, and
that's a
then
nice
you're
organization. I need some more stuff for beads.
yeah, really good,
That's
really
out of
good.
control over here.
Yeah. So I'm going to say one thing that I think was a miss. Okay. Other people might like it. I'm not going to lie. Is this trimmer? I got this trimmer because it has all different kinds of squiggly lines, and you can cut this and cut that with it. But you know what gets me? It's in the middle. Like you see
Yes.
how it's in the middle?
Yeah.
You have to shove the piece of paper. Do I have it handy? Okay, let's just take it.
A room full of craft
You
stuff and no paper.
you have to shove the piece of paper in, and it like honestly, it doesn't even go in. Like you have to come up if you want it in the middle or whatever, right? Yeah, and it doesn't sit right in there. And then when you cut it, anyway, no.
No.
And I tried every way, shape, and form to get this out. So I didn't have to have it. Like I could lift this and then set my paper in it and whatever. No. I don't like it. I tend not to use it for that purpose. So waste of money.
Yeah, I get that.
But
So
does it
along,
still
yes.
sitting in my oh yeah, it's still sitting there. I won't throw it out. God forbid we should throw something out that's not useful to us.
No, I mean, I still have the tiny attacher.
Right?
Because I have found that if I do get rid of something, inevitably, it may be months later, a year later, I'll be like, dang, where's that thing? Because you see somebody who figured some cool thing out with it, right?
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh, I have one of those. So no,
Yeah.
we don't throw anything out because there is a genius out there, far smarter than we are,
Some
that's gonna figure
someone
this out.
someone someday will teach us how to use it.
Yes.
Okay? Now, to say that, I'm going to go to this situation where I'm hoping that one day, somehow, someday, this is going to, no, not this. This is another useless situation. It's this. As much as I try to use this eyelet setter thing, I have no luck in using this.
You need the big bite.
I have sat here and tried to play with it and tried to figure it out. And I can't, I can cut the hole. I can get the holes in there like no tomorrow. But when I put an eyelet in there, it never, either it squishes to the point of complete disaster, like oblivion, or it doesn't squish enough. So I know it's because I'm not using these things proper. And someone said, just watch a video. Girl,
I have
I
sent her many. I have sent her many a
I
video.
I have watched. What I need is I need to probably just sit and pull out a whole bunch of them and then just practice. Maybe
Mm.
that's what I need. I don't know. But along that lines, this is the other thing that I was going to say to you is huge waste of money. And someone will say to me, but I said you use it in a video the other day. I did. I did. Because I'm trying to force myself to use the things that I've paid for.
Yeah.
Right. And this is it's one of those, I don't know what it's called. It's one of those deals where you're trying
Yeah,
to get
it's a single
mushroom.
disc mushroom punch.
Anyway, yeah.
And see, I used mine a lot, but it's because I made covers. So there's that.
Oh, yeah.
So they
So
have their uses, but not.
that's not so much for me. Not so much.
Okay, so not so much for me that I found useless. Craft scissors. I cannot stand them.
What do you mean by craft
So
scissors?
the scissors that cut all different kinds of shapes,
Oh,
the
yes, I have
squiggles and
those
the
too.
things. No, I mean, you have to cut so much and you have to line it up perfect so the squiggle is proper. And then a lot of times they won't cut because the blades are too close. Oh, no, it was just, no, a hot
But
mess
you know what?
express.
I find the same thing with these pinking
Oh,
shears. Well, first off, it's like, I, you know, my arthritis is screaming at me when I'm trying to use these things. And I had my husband try and oil it. And anyway, it's just like that when you're trying to cut stuff. If you
hmm
don't get it in one go,
right.
you're,
So, because my pinking shears are the same way, but generally though, mine are in just one go because I'm just
yeah,
making that the whole stamp look. So that's not too bad. But all those other, the wavy and the this and the that, I didn't like
no.
the craft scissors.
And it's funny you brought that up because I was thinking last week, I need to pull those out when I'm doing some craft stuff for junk journaling because I can get different edges and different.
hmm
So yeah, I was thought about pulling those out. So
All right, well, pull it out and let's see how you
that's,
struggle.
oh yeah.
Struggle
Okay then.
bus. Okay. Most useful. My one of my greatest purchases is Glenda, my cordless glue gun. Love it, love it, love it. I love the cordless glue gun. Whether it's this one or like the one that you have, the first one I had,
Yeah.
just having a cordless one is amazing.
But see, let's talk about that for a second. You find uses to use yours all the time. I hardly ever use mine. It's the same thing with the heat gun. I got it, hardly ever use it.
I agree with the heat gun, but it's because the heat gun, okay, let's go back to the glue gun first.
Or is it a heat gun or a dryer?
It's a either way. I mean, but it
Okay, okay.
is I call it a heat gun, and actually I
Yeah,
think that's the name of it is a heat
okay.
gun.
Okay,
Um
maybe that's why.
But as far as the glue gun, I because I use my hot glue like other people use Fabri-Tac and all those other glues. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Yeah.
So I use my hot glue in the place of other glues that people use. I don't use I've even used it on small things. I'll use if I have it next to me and it's I'm like, okay, we're just gonna hot glue everything down. Because
Hmm.
I just like it. I just like it.
Yeah.
So that's what I use. Now I have found another wet glue that I actually like, but that's just for another list item. So we'll just wait.
Okay.
But yeah, my cordless glue gun, perfect. Now back to the heat gun. Here's what I'm gonna say. It's perfect for what it's meant for. My problem is getting out all this stuff to do embossing. That's the pain.
Yeah.
It's not the heat gun's fault that I'm lazy.
No.
You know what I mean? So it is
Yeah.
a if you and I love embossing, but it's one of those things where if I'm going to get all this stuff out, then I'm gonna mass make. Like I'm gonna just
Yeah.
make a bunch of stuff with this because it is a pain in the butt. It is a real pain. The
Yeah,
embossing powder
it's
and
not something where you just whip out for one
no.
project and then be done with it, right? Because it is a lot.
Yeah. It's the embossing
You got to
ink,
get the
it's the powder.
stencils and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff, right? So yeah, it can turn into a deal. So yeah, mass make is probably the best bet because that way you
Hmm.
pull it all out and you just make and use it all at once.
Yeah. And I did that not too long ago. Not on camera because I was just in here crafting and I was like, "Oh, let's do this." And
Hmm.
so I played around with it, but um so it's not the equipment is great for what it's for. It's just the whole process is a pain in the butt. So
Hmm.
that's my take on that. So here is a non-craft related must have. Okay, and this is going to be so
I'm so
freaking
excited to
simple.
hear when you say that. Must have.
It's a
Because
must
it's like,
have because I live in Texas and a sunshade for the truck.
what? Sunshade? What's that
Yeah.
mean?
Oh my God. So, the sunshade that you put up in the window to keep the
Okay.
sun from like beating down and getting your vehicle all hot.
Yeah, we don't have to worry about that.
I know, but we do. And those are so
Yeah.
important because right now we're going to be in the hundreds already in the middle of May.
Wow.
I saw a post that says we're going to be hotter than the Sahara Desert.
Wow.
So, sunshade.
I,
Sunshade is absolute because I'm telling you, if you get into a truck, or vehicle, whatever, car, truck, whatever you drive,
mhm.
uh, and you don't have one of those up and it has been over 100 degrees, you get in your and it sucks the air right out of you. Like it is so hot, and your steering wheel is like, I don't know, like putting your hands inside of an oven trying to
Yeah.
hold us. It's awful. Sunshades, absolute must.
Yeah, you know what? We do get that sort of thing
2 days a year.
for about 20 minutes, but
Okay.
and what a pain it is. But no, I'm joking. Okay. We do get, I don't want to just diminish the fact that we get sun here. We do get sun.
Yes.
Okay. And yes, there are times if you're sitting in a sunny spot and you come out, your steering wheel does get hot. I'll give you that. Um, but I've never thought to use the sunshade. Now, I have seen people use it, I'm not going to lie. So maybe there is merit to that.
Oh,
I think
there's
yeah.
like they,
But I
those
do think,
memes.
and when you talk, yeah, when you talk about the air, like it just takes your, that's the way we are in the cold. So
Yeah.
if you go outside to go in, like it's like your whole intestines are frozen all in one breath, right? Your lungs are cracking. You know what I mean? Like everything is just completely frozen solid
And
inside.
here,
So I
everything
get it.
literally just
It's burning.
melted. It's like a,
Yes.
it's like lava.
Gotcha.
That's
I
funny.
gotcha. So yeah. But so that's a good point. I think that's something I think would be useful no matter what season you're in.
Like in Texas, I'm not kidding you. People will drive around a parking lot trying to find a parking space under a tree because it just gets so hot. You'll
Oh,
see all these up close parking spaces that are empty and all around the trees, anywhere that there
yeah.
is shade, like everyone's parked. It's just pretty funny.
Wow.
um, Not useful. And this is going to be an unpopular opinion. Not useful. And that is popular home decor, like Ray Dunn. I'm just going to put that out there. That because it's very what is that called? Um
It's funny. I have a really beautiful lamp from a friend of mine.
Okay, that's different though. That's and I have my Ray Dunn mugs. I love them. I love them. But I'm talking about like I because I just cleaned and decluttered my living room and I just bought stuff because it was Ray Dunn. Anyway, uh but not just that, but just things that are popular in the moment. Like there's a lot of hype to
Yeah.
it.
Well, it's like the
And
Stanley.
yeah, like
Like the
that.
Stanley. Everybody goes and buys the Stanley. And I never bought one because you know what? Let's talk about the memes. Have you ever seen? I don't know if anyone watches TikTok, but you watch the husbands and what is it called? Imitating their wives and their Stanleys. And they've got the great big Stanley under their arm, and they've got, their
All
bag
the
and their this, and just trying to and suck it on this massive straw like it's, a great big
It's
thing.
so
But
funny.
yeah, I was never into that. But the Ray Dunn, I do like. I had like some of my mugs.
Yeah, I like some of my mugs. I like
Yeah.
the size of the mugs, so those are good. But I'm just
Hmm.
about home decor in general, and Ray Dunn just popped into my head because again, I decluttered and I'm like, why? Why did you go stupid over this handwriting?
Yes.
Because that's all it is.
Yeah.
Um, I am at the point now where I'm like, okay, any decor needs to be timeless. Like it doesn't, it's just something I enjoy and I like probably more antiques and vintage because to me that's a timeless. It's
Yeah.
not a fad. That's the
It's
word I
not
was
something
looking
that will
for.
go away. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not a fad. So anyway, that just popped up because, I just decluttered my living room that had a ridiculous amount of redone in it.
Well, I'm going to say something that we enjoy in this house immensely, and I would challenge anyone to tell me otherwise.
Woo! Challenge accepted.
Challenge. Um, but we have Yetis.
Hmm.
The Yetis, I'll fight to my dying day that those things are the absolute best. Kitschy, like that
Yeah.
went viral, but I will still go and buy. I got one for Mother's Day. Do you want to see it?
Yeah.
Should I go get it?
Of course you
Okay.
should.
Let's see if I could reach my headphones over to where I need to go.
It's show and tell time
Oh,
always.
ow, ow, ow. Okay.
Well, don't hurt
So
yourself.
there is my Mother's Day gift.
Oh,
Is
nice.
that not pretty? I love it.
Yes.
And when I tell you that it keeps it like at night when you fill that with water, and
Ice.
it's got ice in it in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that is something that I think is very, very, what's the word? Useful.
Useful. Like we
Very
have a
useful.
Yeti ice chest for when we go
Oh, do
doing
you
all
really?
of our
That must have
things.
cost a pretty penny.
It did.
They're like almost $400 here.
No, maybe a
Of course
hundred and
not.
something.
Of course
Sorry.
not.
Our pennies aren't as pretty as yours.
Yeah,
I don't remember how much
yeah,
we paid
it's
for it,
three ninety
honestly.
nine
But
something. I because I was going to get Brad one for Father's Day one year, and it was 300 and change. And I went, yeah, okay, next,
all right.
because that was just
But
too
I mean
much. But
it keeps your eyes there for days, days and days. And
yeah,
even in the
yeah,
Texas heat, and that's the big deal, right?
it
Is
is
that.
totally, yeah,
So,
totally, yeah.
what else you got?
Okay, so I'm going to talk about something that I find, and everyone's going to know it, but to me, useful is
Picker upper.
is is that not ridiculous? But
No.
when I tell you that this little tool has saved my sanity
Hmm.
so many times picking up stickers that will not come off the page, and you can get these at the dollar store.
Yeah.
You can, I've got plethora of them in case I decide to lose one, or it falls on the floor and it's like, nope, today's not your day. I'm not picking it up today, right?
And it gets to
So
watch you
that
use
is
another
one
one.
thing. The other thing that I'm going to say as a nay is completely, and again, it might cause a stir, but care don't. Here we go. Are you ready? These things.
Oh, I don't have that one or that one. I like my envelope punch.
I do not know how to use this to save my life,
That looks complicated.
right? And I thought these are going to be great because for this especially, the envelope, I thought, oh, that's going to be great, right? Not so much these two, but I'm going to
Yeah.
make an envelope. And this is like, you could do like little banners, but
Yeah.
I thought that would be good in a junk journal, like the little one. You could do a little one, right? And maybe put it across the page. And when you open it, it kind of,
Yeah. Oh, that'd
I
be
want to,
cool.
I'm trying to explore the pop out at you kind of scenario, right? Like
Yes.
just poke you right in the stinking eye. But I don't like them. But again, they're on the same shelf as that other one and collecting dust until I find some kind hearted person on the street to sit down and show me how to use it. Much like the cricket that I have sitting in that cupboard over there. Got it 4 or 5 years ago for Christmas, still sitting in there. You know, one thing nobody knows about me, I'm sure you do. I'm not very technically challenged or very, very technically inclined. I'm technically challenged. And I wholeheartedly admit it. You know how sometimes people with drug problems and, oh, I have a problem. Well, this is my problem. I
That is
do
your
have a
problem.
problem.
It is your problem.
So there we go.
I know
Those
it's a
two,
very real one.
I don't like them. I think they're very, very, very unuseful. Useless.
Useless.
Yes.
I don't like, I do like the plain envelope punch because it is very straightforward. It doesn't have all the, because when they start making it for multiple things, then you have to figure
Oh,
out which, you know what I'm saying? So even your
yeah.
envelope punches, envelope and bow and box and whatever. So
Right?
it's very
Like it has this great big thing that folds over, and look at all this. What in the actual heck is all of that? Do you know what
oh,
it is? It's measurements.
mm-hmm.
Okay? There's another thing I'm challenged.
Now I can
Anyway,
help you with that just for the envelope part.
see all the dust now is
Yeah, I
starting to
know.
do something to my nose. But I just seen this on here, quarter, it's got a quarter rounder on here.
Yeah.
Oh, let's just see how that works, shall we?
Because like when
Like,
you make your envelope, you can round the corner of the little pokey
oh,
thing.
okay, let's try this. Let's just
Lori's like, oh, well, I'm going to be able to use one aspect of this punch.
well, well, it's garbage. See, it's still garbage.
Oh, no.
Corner. Oh, that's a corner round. Let's try this one. Okay, yeah, let's move on. How about you, Steph? Will
All
I?
right. So, most useful, multiple calendars,
Oh,
not
yeah,
planners. I'm not talking planners, but I have what I call my ugly calendar above my desk. So it is just where every single thing goes. Everything goes up there.
yeah,
And then I will put it in my planner. But then I also have to have a calendar in the kitchen because that's what my husband sees and Rachel and anybody else that's here. So they know what's happening. So I have to have multiple calendars. And then I have two planners. I have a business and then I have a catch-all for everything. Um, but multiple calendars for me are so useful because I'll just take the ugly one into the kitchen, catch up the kitchen calendar, and then I take the ugly one. But see, I have found because my desk always looks like this, thinking that I'm going to be one of those people that has my planner open all pretty on the side and I can always see it. No, that's why I have the ugly calendar because the ugly calendar is up there. And if I need to know, it's like, oh, that's what's happening because
mhm.
everything is up there. This is more of me planning out my day, taking what has to happen and putting it down and planning out my day is what my planner's for. So, multiple
So,
calendars.
so I would agree with you on that subject. I do have what I call a catch-all that sits on my desk, but where I lack is here's an example. Say you say to me today, Lorie, I don't know what you're doing tomorrow night, but would you like to Zoom from, 5 o'clock till 8? And I'll show you how to do that envelope thing. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I could throw that down here, no problem. Where I lack is I get on the go calls and messages and emails. Can I meet you at the club? Can I come see the club? And I tend to write it in the calendar in the club. And then I forget that I have to meet somebody until they're phoning me saying, I'm at the club. Where are you? And I'm like, I'm on my way. Meanwhile, in my head, I didn't even know I was supposed to meet you. Okay. But I'm now using my phone for almost all of the club stuff because I just can't. I need to have like a bell, a reminder,
Yeah.
and the phone has a reminder
Yeah.
because there's been a lot where I've missed and I've had to reschedule or whatever, and that's not fair.
Right.
And maybe a few of them is because I've been out and I didn't know I was supposed to meet somebody. Now,
But I do that for anything that is an appointment. So
yeah,
like my Zooms, the podcast, because that's a specific day and time.
yes,
So
yeah,
anything that has a specific day and time, I mean, it's in all of my written calendars, but for the reminder part, it is in my phone.
right, yeah,
Because, and I have I have a reminder that's set for an hour, for 30 minutes, for 15 minutes, and then for
yeah,
5 freaking minutes.
yeah.
Because
I know,
I will forget. Or
I
I'll
know.
be like, oh, I got time. I can, squeeze this in or squeeze that in. And the next thing I know, I've lost track of time and it's past the time. So I have multiple alarms for those kind of things. So that's a good idea. And I bet you that's working really good for you.
You know what? It's better because I just feel like here's an example. I feel like if when I miss it, I feel bad and it makes me feel bad for a while. I'm such a how can I say this? I hate letting people down. It's in me. I don't know, many years of working and having that work ethic that I need to get it done because my boss is depending on me or my da da da. It's the same thing in life in general. I cannot take it if something I'm doing is not up to par and I feel like I'm letting something or somebody down.
I
So
get that.
that part to me was driving me to distraction. So even though it's in my calendar in the uh, Lions Club book, like the calendars, I if I don't look at that calendar, then I'm done. Like
Yeah.
I like I literally have to look the night before. Sometimes I remember and sometimes I don't. Because sometimes I'll think to myself, "Oh, I have something. I think I have something tomorrow." You know, and I look and no, and then the next day, you know,
Where are
it's
you?
like, where are you? It's like, oh, it was for today. Yeah, I'm out. Okay, can I meet another time? And then I feel like a nasty person because I've just ruined their time, and you know what I mean. Anyway,
Because also you have expectations of other people and
yeah,
you have them of yourself. So when you don't meet those expectations, it makes you feel bad.
yeah, 100%. Yeah,
So I
I do
get
feel
that.
bad. I'm such a sap, really. Next.
I was gonna say this is not the topic.
No, no, but that's why I went to the phone because I thought I can't do that anymore. I
Well,
can't.
that's good though. You found a
So now I have
solution.
that alarm like you do, an
Yeah.
hour out. Oh, okay.
At
So,
least you just have one. I have like four because I'll be like, oh, okay. But you know how it is? I like get the alarm on my phone, like, oh yeah, okay, no problem. But then I'm still like doing stuff and
hmm.
then time just goes so fast. Okay, here is a not useful. And I wanted it to be useful so bad, but it's just not. And that is a coffee cup warmer.
I know. I got one too for Christmas from Brad and Megan. And you know what? I don't have enough electrical space to plug in every last single thing that needs an outlet.
But not just that, it's like the bigger cups, the rounder cups, if they don't fit right in that, it's just too small, I think.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
then it's not keeping it, or if the bottom of the cup has like a little dip in it,
Yeah.
so it's not actually
It's not
on the
sitting.
warmer, so it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So it's only good for very plain,
Yeah.
small coffee cups.
Yeah.
And I was so disappointed. But I
I
just
was too.
started using like your Yeti, but I have some of those for my coffee and it keeps it hot for long enough for me to drink it. So I'm like, you know
Yeah.
what? I'm just switching up my coffee. Like if I am going to be doing a lot of stuff and I'm not just relaxing and just drinking coffee.
These Yetis are good for hot too.
Yes.
So I could use both. So it
Yeah,
works
because
out really well.
I have a Yeti, two Yeti coffee cups
Yeah.
that is for that. So that was a disappointment. I
Yeah, I
really wanted
agree.
it to work and it
And of
just
course, Meg
didn't.
asked me about that. Where's your coffee? And I looked at her and went like this. I went, my puppy dog eyes. It didn't work. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah. Like what do you do?
Yeah.
So that is not useful.
No.
Okay, this is really getting on my last nerves. Um Another thing that I wanted to work so bad and it just is a no. And I actually had one of my patrons reach out and ask me about it because she was going to get one. And that is the glue sticks, no, the wax melts that can go into a glue gun. So
Oh, I've never seen that.
they're they look like a glue stick. So they're long
Oh,
things of
okay.
wax,
Oh, I think I
right?
might have them. Yeah.
And they go into a glue gun.
Yeah.
No. And so here's the problem with those. So with any glue gun, I'm just going to use this one right here, right? So when it gets to this point, right, it goes in and you've used it and it's at this point, you still have this whole glue stick in here.
Yes.
But to get it to push through, you have to put another. So if it's wax, if you're not doing the same colors,
Yeah.
now you have different colors. Okay. So this has to be used all the way through. You can't take it out. So you
No.
have to use this whole thing, and then when you're pushing in another one, if it's a different color, all of a sudden now you have mixed colors,
Yes.
and you can't, once it reaches a certain point, you can't take it out. You have to
Yeah.
finish using it. Now, I did get smart and I got a dowel pin, which is like a piece of wood, a little circle wood.
Oh,
I took it to the store, found a dowel pin that would go in there, and I was able to use that to push all the way through, but it's still such a hot mess. And then I'm like,
but
okay,
do
I
you
have to
have
finish making
remnants?
these.
Do you have remnants of that wax melt in that shaft?
Yes,
Yeah.
until you push the other color through. So there would be at least 2 to 4, depending on, how much
Yeah.
uh wax melt, what are those seals, right?
Yeah.
That were just multiple color.
Right. Yeah.
So that was a no. Like I just the spoon and the fire, and that's just the better way to go to
Yeah.
make them, because I thought, oh, boom boom boom, we have all these wax melts, but it's
Yeah. Hmm.
not so much. So
Um, so what's my next thing? And it's wraps around podcasting. I I've literally shut the microphone off. I don't even use it in front of me anymore because it sounded to me like I was screaming in the podcast when I play it back because
yeah,
I actually watch every podcast so that I know what's happening and I can critique myself and all that kind of stuff, right? And every time I would listen back to it, it sounded like I was screaming. So then I stopped using the microphone that we have. You have one. Do you use yours?
yeah, it's right there, but I use that for everything.
Yeah, see, I don't. I only used it for the podcast.
Do you have a microphone in the computer?
Yes.
Okay. And so that's a good microphone, because
Yeah.
honestly, I had no clue that you weren't using the other
I'm not using
microphone.
it. So that's the big, and then these I cannot. I don't know whether it's this brand that I have, but they slide forward.
Oh
It's too
yeah,
big.
they're
It's
too
too
big.
big for my head, and it just does not sit. Like honestly, it sits almost below my ear, so I can almost, I have to push it up and push it back so that I could hear you clearly.
Yeah,
Because it
it
starts,
hurts my ear. Like this ear,
yes,
it like I don't know. Yeah, I don't like them
I
either.
don't like them. So that's,
Like
eh,
these, I feel like though are helpful just for the
yes, I think
podcast,
they're
and I don't use them
useful.
for anything else.
No, I think
There
they're
are people who
useful.
just sit on all of the everythings with their headphones, and they got the little microphone, and
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, no,
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 I know. I'm the same. And that's the thing with me. I find it useful for this purpose,
I don't
but
like
I
them.
don't, I don't like them.
Me either. So you're not
Yeah.
alone.
Every time Steph and I go to get ready, and I go, okay, let's plug it in. And, we're the two of us are like, rah, rah, rah. And then it's
Yeah.
like, good morning. After we've just been all pissy about the
About the headphones.
plugging in the headphones.
That's so funny. So true. Um,
Yeah.
Most useful, because I use this a lot, and I really had to use it the other day. I forgot to tell you about the whole smoke alarm debacle thing going
Oh,
on. But uh a magnifying glass.
for what?
There's so many things I cannot see anymore.
Mhm.
Like even with my glasses. So, I mean, talking about, our smoke alarm was acting a fool, and it's connected to our alarm system. So, because it was not working properly, our alarm kept going off saying there was a fire. Oh, it was just a mess, right? So I'm on the phone with the alarm people, and they're like, "Can you read the numbers off the back of the thing?" And I'm like, no. So to come and get my magnifying glass so I could like see the numbers. There's so many things. But I'm gonna say I don't think it's my vision as much as, like, for that particular thing, like the background was white, but the letters were gray.
Oh,
So they don't pop off, and
Yeah,
it is small to begin with, right? So a lot of times it's because there's no contrast between what I'm trying to read and the background,
yeah,
and so
yeah.
it's really hard to see. Um, but yeah, I am finding in my older days that
But
magnifying
uh,
glass for some things.
I actually think it's going to be a good idea for me to get that. And I'll tell you why. Because when I'm doing my junk journals and I have to thread the machine or thread
Yes.
I can't thread that stupid needle. As hard as I try, especially, I mean, maybe when it's a bit thicker and the hole is a bit bigger, yeah. But on the machine, when I have to rethread the thread, I'm out. I, like it's almost like too much work for me to even, I cannot find that stupid hole, no matter how much I
This
look.
helps because you take the threader, right, the little thing and to poke through. And so yeah, this actually helps you can see it. So
So
I
when I
recommend
see that, that brings back so much memories to
of
me
your
because
grandma.
my grandfather used to have one, and that's what he read the newspaper with. He would, he called it a spyglass. Where's my spyglass? And you know, and so yeah, when I seen you pull that out, I went, oh my God, that brings back memories. But I need one.
This was my grandmother's. So when I went up to Dallas to visit my aunt and kind of go through some things,
Yeah,
I was like, oh, I need this.
I
So
need this.
this was my grandmother's magnifying glass.
Yeah,
So
it's funny. Good. So
yeah.
that's two things now I'm going to have to get listening to you. Is that and my little iron?
Yeah, the little iron and the
Yeah,
magnifying glass. Highly
yeah,
recommend. Highly,
yeah.
highly recommend. Um, not useful is keeping things you'll never, ever, 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 ever use
That was
again.
on my list. Okay,
Cassette
I want to
tapes,
talk about, huh?
cassette tapes,
Oh, I know.
VHS tapes, CDs. Like,
Here's the thing. I got a good idea to try and clean out the drawers that are beside me and use those for the crafting supplies to get them off of my desk that I use on the go all the time.
right.
Like the glues and the this and the that. Okay. When I tell you when I started, the amount of pens that I have is absolute lunacy.
Mhm.
Okay, girls, guys, whatever. You don't need that many pens. I don't care. If you want to have 10 of each, have 10 of each. But I'm going to stop because literally it's the same thing with the, like you say, you don't need it all. What do you need? You know what else is getting out of hand for me? Is buying books with the vintage books with the vintage papers. And I am not going to make that many junk journals. Who in their right mind is doing that to me?
I
Me.
don't know. You have something because it is books for you. Like
Oh,
I did go through that, but I did reach a point where uh if it's not uh in a different language or if it's not the font isn't, pretty, if it is just a regular book, even if it's an old book, but it's just a regular book, no.
mhm.
I'm looking for illustrations. I'm
Yeah. See,
looking for
I need to get into that.
yeah,
That
so
type of.
I'm not anti-book, but I'm very picky about my books
Mhm.
now. Um because I was like you, I ended up with like I will not do a paperback. Sorry. Like I'm just not doing a paperback because
Oh no.
they're just a plain book. It's just a plain book. Now, if it's free, fine. I use it for backing, I use it for, whatever. But for
Mhm.
my junk journals, I'm looking foreign language, I'm looking at different
Yeah.
typesets, I'm looking for illustrations along with the words.
Yeah.
So I've gotten a lot pickier,
Yeah.
honed in. what I'm looking for when I'm looking at books.
So that has to be me now because I think I've gone overboard on the books and not enough making. That's one thing I need to do.
Yes.
So my thought process was over the summer, I'm just going to start making junk journals, not on camera, just off camera, make the ones that I want to make
Yeah.
and finish them off, and whatever happens happens after that. But at least I'm getting them done because I'm collecting all the stuff to do them, and I have done some. You've seen
Hmm.
them,
Yeah.
but I don't to do a video on them is daunting to me,
Yeah.
and
And
I
it's
don't end up.
you don't
Yeah,
enjoy it and there's no point. Don't
yeah,
take your joy away from yourself like that.
yeah. So
So,
that's that. But yeah, the books is a thing of it's become unuseful,
yeah. And
right?
and I hit that point. I'm just like, because when I first started, I'm like, oh, I books, all the books, cheap, cheap books. And I'm
Yeah,
looking at it, it's like, I don't even like this font. And like some of the books, there's so much blank border around the
yeah,
words that I'm just,
yeah.
so I have, but again, but that happens. It happens anytime you start something new
Yes,
that, you haven't figured out your likes, dislikes, your style. So,
yeah,
but once you do figure it out, you're like, okay, just like with me in dictionaries, I don't need any more dictionaries. I'm not even looking at dictionaries.
yeah.
Uh, because I have plenty now that I'll never use in this whole lifetime. Um, so
It's
I'm
the same
just
thing
a
with
lot more
material.
pickier. Yes.
I was collecting a lot of material and a lot of stuff like that. So I've toned down the material part of it until I use what I have. I'm not getting any more material.
Yeah,
So
I am
it's
absolutely 100%
I've
on
just
board with
come to
that.
the yeah, I've just come to the realization that now the book part is that it's the cutoff for me. I've done enough. As I was putting them away yesterday, I thought, okay, you need to stop.
Yeah.
You've got enough books here to last you a lifetime. Well, maybe
So,
not a lifetime, but
but yeah, but it has to be a special one because Kenny would be like,
because
what
it,
about
yeah.
this? And what about that? And I'm like, and
Oh
I'll flip
yeah.
through it because some books you cannot tell by the cover. Some
Yeah.
books are amazing on the inside,
Hmm.
right? So a lot of illustrations, some of the magazines that were made in the 1800s were actually books, not like a magazine
Yeah.
we look at today.
Like we have. Yeah.
Right. So a lot of times, you can't just look at the cover and be like, no, uh, because you might miss something. I absolutely flip through the books, but it's a
Hmm.
quick flip. I mean, you can tell right off the bat if it's something that's gonna have
Yeah.
illustrations and, cool typeset or whatever, or a different
Yeah.
language. But I don't buy all the different language ones either. Like I have enough books that I cannot read because they're in other languages.
Okay. I bought one the other day. It was, I don't know, a buck. And do you know what kind of language it is?
What?
Kabbalah. What
Oh
is that?
wow.
What is it? It just said the Book of Kabbalah. And it has all kinds of different, it almost looks like shorthand to me.
I was gonna
I'm
say
not
it's
trying,
symbols.
I'm not trying to be disrespectful.
No.
I just don't know what it is.
Yeah,
So I know it's
so
a language. I just don't know what language and who it belongs to. But I thought, oh, you know what? That's going to make nice junk journal pages.
yes. Like I have a Japanese book. It's all,
Yeah.
because Japanese, it looks like symbols to us. To them,
Yes.
that is their
Is
their
language.
letters and
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
stuff. But to me, again, it just looks like symbol. It's very
Yeah.
cool, and they also
Yeah.
write up and down. I have a book in Arabic. They write from right to left instead of
Yeah.
left to right, so everything is like backwards. So it's
Yeah.
cool. It's cool
Yeah.
to have those kind of different
Yeah.
things.
It's different. Yeah.
So the last thing I have on my most useful list is a Bluetooth earpiece. So it's plugged in right now. But my earpiece, I don't do the earbuds. One, I don't like the way they fit. I have to have something over my ear. But I also like to be able to hear what's around me. I don't want I don't want to walk around with both my ears plugged.
But why do you have that? Like, what is that for?
Oh my gosh. So this hooks up to my phone and makes it completely hands-free. So
Oh,
I talk on my phone. So anytime the kids call, I can do stuff and not have to hold the phone. That sounds so ridiculous. I'm a busy person. I don't have time to just, long are the days of the Brady Bunch when you could just sit, and talk on the phone. No, that's not how it works anymore.
have your
Right?
cup of tea and
Yeah.
biscuit.
No. No. Go sit down on your chair and no, it doesn't work. So for me, that I can be on my phone talking to whomever I need to talk to, which is about five people because I
Hmm.
don't talk to a lot of people. Um, but I can still do what I need to do. I'm completely hands free. I can
Yeah,
put the phone in my pocket or in my purse or wherever
right.
and continue on doing what I'm doing and be on the phone.
Nice. It's
And
another thing I'm going
to
to have to
me,
get, I think.
that is, I can't even tell you, because when I'm driving, like my truck and Kenny's truck, he has his truck hooked up to his phone. Mine can, I just don't like the way that it sounds. And if I get out of my truck, it's just a pain in the butt. So it's in my ear. But then I'm driving, all I do is push the button and I can talk to whomever. But I can also listen to my podcast while I'm driving. I can also listen to, well, I don't listen to music, but I could if I wanted to. Um, if
What
I,
psycho listens to music?
I don't know. Um, but like if I'm on the other side working, I'll have it in like my earpiece and I'm watching my shows.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, but I'm not disturbing it and I'm not trying to hear over stuff because it's in my
Yeah,
ear. But then I can still hear other stuff going on. So to
right.
me, it is a die hard. It is a must. I
Okay, well, that's three things I'm going
absolutely
to have to try.
have to have it. And like if you like how the cozy is, we can just lay there and listen to it. You'll like the earpiece for
My cozy has been complete and total useful life-saving tool that I have in my arsenal.
you're welcome.
It's I fall asleep very nicely every single night with that thing and literally stay asleep. I'll get up and go pee, okay? But then I listen to the podcast as I'm and again, I the only reason why I think it does it for me is because it doesn't let me get into my head and
Right,
start thinking about things.
right.
I can fall asleep back to them two talking about,
Whatever.
whatever trash bag is laying on the side of the road, and I'm out like a light again. I don't need to hear, the details.
You know what else the earpiece is good for? When we leave each other voice messages, you can't
Oh,
necessarily listen to them when there's
in
other
public?
people around. Yes. So there are times when
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
I haven't put it in yet or it is charging and you'll
Yeah.
leave me a voice message. I'm like, I'm gonna go get my earpiece because I have no
Because
idea what's gonna be said. So I have to make sure nobody else can hear
yeah.
it.
Oh, she might shoot off a few F-bombs.
But it's not just that, because I know sometimes like you'll be sitting in the car with Meg or George or
Yeah,
whomever.
yeah.
And, if we've been voice messaging, I don't want other people to be
About our
like,
day.
right? And to
Yeah,
be like, the hell is wrong with her?
yeah. No, because I don't have the earpiece, but I have the buds. So
Okay.
it goes in my phone, and then I have the buds. So I can hear it. He can't hear it.
Okay.
Or she or nobody else,
Right.
right? But yeah, I would never do that anyway, regardless of who was in the car.
Oh, I
Play it
know.
out loud. Yeah.
Mm-mm. Me
No,
either.
because
Now, there have been times when you've said something so freaking funny, and so I'll turn my earpiece off and I'll be like, Kitty, you gotta listen to this. I don't remember. It was something you said,
yeah,
it was a while back, but um, it was
when I
just
was
funny.
funny,
Yeah.
a while
No,
back when I was
way,
funny,
way back then when
last
you were
summer
when you were funny.
when I was funny.
I think it was about one of your Walmart trips.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
it's hysterical.
hysterical.
But that is what is on my list.
That's it. I don't have any
Useful
more
and
either.
unuseful items. According to me, other people may find all of these
Yeah,
things incredibly useful.
yeah.
I just do not.
I live by our coffee maker. 100% useful. That thing breaks down. We better have a Amazon in cart ready for it to come the next day because we will be in trouble. But that home stuff is you know it's everybody's kind of stuff. But I do think um, I don't know. I That's all I have, my friend. My
Okay,
friend.
that's all I
My
got. So
okay. Well, bye.